Welcome to Season 4 of Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Hello, and here we are for another amazing episode of Casual Camping Podcast. I'm Tim.
And I'm Ade. Tim, you sound like you've got a husky voice. What's going on?
Well, Ade, I've had my second job start where I'm making, sexy calls to people.
Please tell me you've had calls.
I've had calls to stop.
Quelle surprise.
No, sorry, it is proper croaky. We're on the way back from camping where I've had 2 days of drinking a lot and breathing in smoke from the fire. So, I sound extra sexy today.
Some say sexy, others say hungover. I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't actually feel hungover, I must admit. I didn't drink as much as I thought I would. I've brought beers home.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what's going on. I mean, probably that we went to the pub for some of it. So,
Yeah.
I'd prefer to be bringing some home than run out.
You see, I blame the pub entirely on the listeners because on our socials, you put a poll on and you asked them whether day drinking was all right, we should be already on it, or no, it isn't all right. And 100% said we should already be on it.
Yeah, I mean, they knew us, they knew what we wanted, and we were. I was sat at the pub when that was happening, so well done, each and every one. Thank you for giving us permission.
Yeah, you are enablers. You are enablers with our I'm not going to say addiction, because, we're not addicted to drink, but, a quick drink while camping on a sunny day, I think that's a necessity.
It's easy for you to say, Tim. Beautiful Cumbria. How lovely was it? I loved it.
Absolutely stunning drive up. Well done to you for driving. It's 4 hours for us to get there with a stop. So it's a fair way north from where we live in the Midlands in the UK. There's people in North America going, I do that just to go and get some milk.
Yeah, I do always think that. It's like, yeah, our roads are quite congested, so it is a trial to go that far. And we were meeting up with good friends. Somebody's got a big special birthday, so shout out to Glenn, who turns 50 next month. So this was our get-together. And we don't ever need an excuse to go that far, but it's always a help to know that you're supporting a friend to get beyond a certain age.
Yeah, he's the last of the group to make it into the big 5-0. So he's the baby Glenn.
Yeah, the baby of the group, which is odd, but we've known him for 35 years.
I know, and he's still in nappies.
Thankfully, he didn't have an accident. So.
No, nobody had an accident, actually. No, it's like you say, beautiful part of the world. We drove up along the side of the Lake District, so you've got the Lakeland Fell skyline there, which is stunning, and the campsite absolutely great.
Yeah, High Hall Farm, which is part of the Greener Camping Club. You'll see some of our socials this week to show what it was like, but it has some really good green credentials, and it was beautiful. Made even better by some very sunny weather, which is always a treat in April rather than the rain. There's been no April showers this year, which I've been thankful for.
Yeah. So it's been dry for a few weeks on the run up to going away, which is always a positive because the campground's going to be nice and firm and not boggy. Wasn't expecting the sunshine. I knew it was going to be dry. Wasn't expecting it to be quite so warm. I got a little bit burnt on the Saturday, and it's settled down a bit now as we're driving home. But it's stunning, absolutely stunning. The site, what was it called again?
High Hall Farm Camping.
Fab. Brilliant site, absolutely brilliant site. One of those lovely sites where there's like paths mown through longer grass rather than keeping it all trimmed like a bowling green. It's and then different shaped camping areas just sort of mown out of the lawn. Lots of new trees planted. There's a beautiful river running along the side of the camp. They've got a lake that somebody was a motorbike camper came and he fished there for 2 days. Just brilliant facilities, weren't they? Brilliant.
Yeah, really, and a mixture of quite traditional sawdust toilets, but all in really good, clean sort of state. But they also had the cowshed, which was like a meeting place with sinks running and flushing water, really hot power showers, and they were still doing some work. So I think if you go in a few weeks' time, there'll be some other areas that they're creating. But it was lovely, and couldn't have been better. They were even doing what looked like a pond that you could swim in. It looked, because there was a diving board to it, so maybe that's coming in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it looked amazing, didn't it? And the cowshed barn, it had a full kitchen that you just had access to with a microwave and everything, fridges for you to put all your stuff in, freezer with freezer blocks for you to just swap yours over. Just great. An honesty shop that wasn't taking the mick in prices. And a ping pong table.
Yeah, a ping pong table, which was great. So we had a few little competitions, which was very nice. But yeah, I mean, all in all, what a fantastic site. And it was always going to be good because we were meeting up with some long time friends who just make us laugh. If you think we're funny, my God, our friends are funnier. Thank God they don't do podcasts, because we'd be the number 2 podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In our group of friends, we're the really boring ones. We're not funny at all. We're not funny at all. They're funny. But they're like really broad Geordie, so you can't really understand them. So it's like Ant and Dec. Just doesn't work in America.
So we deliberated on last week's episode about fast and light, what we were cooking, who was taking what, and I think it's fair to say we probably failed, Tim.
Yeah, completely. Because we were driving such a long way, and the cost of fuel is so high. We had to join up and go in one vehicle. We were going to do my car, but as you put it, you knew you were going to fail miserably at fast and light. So we brought your van, and we pretty much packed it, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small van, but it's packed to the rafters. You'll see on our socials. Go have a look at the pictures. I know we are a treat for your ears, but also our socials are a treat for your eyes as well, and matches up some of the things that we talk about. But yeah, I mean, there is that thing of going for 2 nights where I like to take a lot of things. When you're in a field, you want to play with your kit. They're your adult toys that are, what I like to have when I'm out camping. And I don't want to be going around going, oh, have you got that? Oh, have you got that? Because I've not brought something that I normally do. So I, in the end, took my airbeam tent, which is the new one, and I pretty much took everything, but I was comfortable, and it was brilliant.
Yeah, so as you pointed out, we're recording this in the car, so if the sound isn't brilliant, just roll with us. This one's a live one. But you pointed out to me earlier that I pretty much all I'd really changed to go fast and light was just bring a slightly smaller tent. So I would have normally for something like this have taken one of the bell tents, but I took the North Face Big Fat Frog, and thought, well, that's lightweight, it's small. I brought my kitchen station with a tarp, and but yeah, I still kind of needed everything else really, because I did.
And we were doing group cooking, and that's the bit for me. You did an excellent meal the first night. I did an excellent meal, if I do so say. She sells seashells on the seashore. Can't get me words out. I was drinking yesterday. But there is that thing where you are cooking for people and you don't want to leave something behind. You know, I was cooking on a fire. So I needed the heavy pots, I needed those type of things. And we weren't sure of the facilities there. They did say they wanted us to use their things, but I had better things, so I ignored that and we used our own fire.
Yeah. So they wanted us, they did say on their website that you can have a fire, but you have to use their fire pits, which normally means they're like serious pieces of kit that there's no way they're going to damage the grass or anything like that. But their fire pits there, and you know, I'll say this, were absolute pieces of crap.
There were beer barrels with a top one end cut out and a hole in the side, and then they'd put some wire over them, and all they were doing was scorching. The patch that Graeme was on was like a Dalmatian. It had so many spots on it.
Yeah, it's they weren't lifted off the ground at all. So we thankfully you'd brought your fire pit, which you needed anyway to do your bit of cooking, and it was, you know, it's obviously our fire pits don't damage the ground at all, which is why we can get away with using them in different sites. But yeah, I would say they need to chuck those ones away, because they're just a load of old tat, really. It's putting one of those disposable barbecues directly on the grass would have made less damage.
Yeah. And considering, you know, we're saying how, you know, green credentials and stuff, they've spent a lot of time, they're still planting trees, they're putting up new shower blocks, you know, there's a lot going on, and it's still a working farm. So, you know, it's just like, in one hand they've got it dead right, and in another they're just still there. But, you know, we can give feedback, or we can just be a little bit picky. You know, we're whinging Poms. We can whinge about it.
Complaining's what we do best. It's I did forget something in all the packing. You turned up at mine, and we threw all my stuff in your car, and I entirely forgot my water butt. So, but it didn't really matter, did it?
It didn't. You know, we were camped right next to each other. I had a beer keg that was my water thing for the day, and it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did. I didn't need that much water anyway. It's a bit for cooking and making coffees. That's all.
Yeah, I think coffee on a morning. You got to get to first breakfast before second breakfast kicks in. You know, that was. And if anybody is laughing at me, I stand by it. First breakfast is mainly a sugar waffle or some pastry that you don't need to cook. You've brought it with you. You can have it with a coffee in the morning or a cup of tea if that's your preference. But it gets you to, you don't want to maybe get up and have to set to, so it gives you a bit of leeway to be able to go, well, actually, I could have a mid-morning breakfast then, where I'll do some eggs and sausages and bacon and whatever it is that you want. So, yeah, I swear by, when you're camping, first and second breakfast.
I do agree with you, to be honest. You know, we had first breakfast this morning, which was lovely, and then it's particularly on a trip like this where you've divvied up the meals, so you're not responsible yourself for all the meals that you're going to be having, and when you are responsible for it, well, you just eat when you want, don't you? And if you know, do it whenever you want. But when you're reliant on someone else doing it, you're kind of reliant on their time frame and their way of working, and you know, you might be hungry, but they're not ready to do the meal that you're after. So having first breakfast was essential this morning, because second breakfast, although absolutely amazing, just took a little bit of time to come, didn't it? Because it got a bit windy and it was playing with the gas, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. And especially if you've had a few beers the night before, I'm certainly somebody that just needs something to ease that hangover. And I find a sugar waffle, you can get them in packets. Other waffles are available if you don't like the sugar, but I think they help with the hangover. Add a bit of sugar back into your blood. Really nice. There's a top tip from Ade. Second breakfast, yep, a must. Something greasy for me, but first breakfast, just to get you there. Oh, there's no wonder I'm a little bit larger this season, Tim.
It's yeah, that first breakfast almost like continental breakfast, isn't it? Really, it's a pastry or something like that, and then you jump full in with the English.
Yeah, it really is. So, before we go any further, what were the meals?
Yeah, so we are talking about we're talking about what are we talking about? We're talking about the gourmet cooking that's gone on in this camping trip. I having cooked my meal for it, I'm amazed at how incredible I've been. I knew what you were planning to do, and expectation was massively high. I didn't really know what to expect from everyone else, but I have to say, everybody's pulled out all the stops. It has been an incredible gourmet extravaganza on this camping trip.
It really has. And, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people don't go to the effort that maybe other people do. And this time for us, everybody nailed it. It was brilliant. You started Friday night with a paella by Tom from Off the Beaten Pot. We've been talking about his cookbook recently, and he's a long-time friend of the show. He has been on the show. We interviewed him last season or the season before. Go find it.
Yeah.
Chicken and chorizo. Paella.
Oh gosh, I really wanted to try and cook a proper meal, like something a bit unusual. I've never, I probably should have practiced it first, but I've never ever in my life cooked a paella before. But I thought I'm going to give it a go. It is a recipe from Tom from Off the Beaten Pot, although it's not in his current cookbook. He's doing the second one at the moment, and it is going to be in there. So it's a bit of a highlight for you that this is what's to come. Great meal though. It's pretty much one pot cooking, which is really helpful when you're camping, because you don't bring like 5 different pots to get loads of different things simmering. But it's an incredibly filling, hearty, tasty meal. So it was frying off chorizo, frying off some chicken. There's peppers, there's onions, there's garlic, there's some turmeric, some paprika, chopped tomatoes, a load of lovely. I made a mixed stock with vegetable and chicken stock in it. And then lots and lots of paella rice, because I was feeding 4 big hungry blokes. And then essentially with paella, as it turns out, you just kind of get all that together and just ignore it for a while. And that's what I did, which smelt great while it was cooking.
It smelled great. I always think paella looks a bit of a mess while it's cooking, but anything that you can just leave alone and go and have a cheeky can and a laugh around the campfire is always nice. And apparently Tom was on hand to give you advice. So maybe that. No, don't be messaging him.
I'm sure if you're struggling with one of his recipes, that he'd give you some advice. I did. I wasn't sure of the timescales of how quick it would take to cook, and I did message him, just didn't expect a response, but I did message him just to say, my rice still feels really firm and it's been kind of simmering for half an hour. And amazingly, he came straight back with some advice and told me what to do, wanted a photo, asked a few questions about how I prepared everything. He gave me a couple of top tips, and I got it simmering on a really low heat. I was using the Jetboil Genesis, which was perfect for this because it's so adjustable is the gas on it that you can really put things on a real slow simmer. And actually what I needed to do for the paella was to get it on a medium heat and get it a little bit warmer, which I didn't realise, but a top tip from Tom, he was absolutely brilliant. You know, only the Casual Camping podcast guys can have a top chef on speed dial, but it really worked out, and really quickly the rice was finished off, was all plated up, and how did it taste, Ed?
Well, I mean, before I get on to how it tastes, it was like, I felt like, you know, we were in Hell's Kitchen or something and we got Gordon Ramsay on the other line.
Yeah, but he wasn't F-bombing at me.
No.
Tom's a lot nicer than Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, he wasn't shouting at all. And it tasted glorious. And, you know, what made it taste glorious? Obviously, chicken, chorizo, rice, stock, beautiful things. But the piece de resistance, I have to say, is the coriander and the lime that you had with it. It was absolutely, that just gave it a little zing and just took it from, you know, something that was going to fill you and be tasty to, oh my God, I'd pay for this. So, you know, well done. Well done.
That's a compliment. That literally, you just made me do a double take. You know, you're a tight-fisted Yorkshireman. If you'd pay for something I've cooked, then I'm taking that as the highest compliment going. Thank you very much. I have to say, I was really, really pleased with it. It was a beautiful tasting meal. It made a big plate full of food for everyone. Go have a look on our socials, because there's already some reels on there showing me cooking it and what it looked like once it was plated up. But I'm really glad you enjoyed it, Ed. Really glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really did. And after a few beers in the afternoon, I mean, the pressure was on you. You know, I got there and could relax because mine was the following day, where you got there, you got set up, we got there early, we had a nice afternoon, we checked out the site and stuff. But I guess that for you, knowing that that's your time, you've got that at the back of your mind, whereas mine was the following day. And yeah, I just could relax, drinking beer, starting a fire, and like, you know, come feed me. I am now hungry. I am ready for this.
Yeah. There was a little bit of there was some cavemen around the fire saying, "Are you cooking now?" It's they were getting hungry. I purposely, we were given the options of what meals we cook, and normally we don't really do that, but on this camping trip Glenn wanted us to take a meal each. I plumped for the first one, which most people would avoid, but it meant that because I knew I probably wasn't going to bring a cool box, like my big cool box, because we might not fit it in. So I wanted to bring my little cool bag, which meant anything that needed to stay cold for cooking purposes, I needed to cook that first night, particularly if I was bringing chicken. So I was quite happy to get mine out the way, get it all cooked, get it done, get it cleaned up, knowing I'm not responsible for food anymore for the whole of this trip, which was a real bonus. I think I went with the right choice.
Yep, you know, I think you did. I certainly couldn't have cooked what I wanted to cook on that first night. It'd have taken too long. Although, you know, I last cooked what... so for my meal, somebody else took breakfast, somebody else took lunch on the Saturday, which were both lovely and hit the spot and did exactly what we needed to do in between pints of beer.
Yeah. Before you get on to yours, I do think we have to highlight the great breakfast that we had. We had a full English breakfast delivered by Daz. Absolutely cracking. You know, the usual fare for a full English breakfast, but it was done well. I've then got to have special highlight for Glenn, who decided to cook, in inverted commas, a cheese board, which initially we all went, how do you're not doing any cooking in there, Glenn? Are you like copping out? But he didn't cop out in the slightest, did it? It was like one of the nicest cheese boards I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. And both you and I we're a bit picky about cheeses.
Yeah, yeah.
And what a different meal. And it was so lovely because it felt lighter. Obviously, camping with us can be a bit of a meat fest. But it was absolutely lovely, and he went to town with lots of different cheeses, crackers. He'd made bread.
Yeah, made his own bread.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So that was good, and that was the my meal. So it needed to be that lighter. If we'd have had anything a bit heavier, I think that had probably had an influence on my meal. And so for me, I mean, I'm a one-trick pony. I went with a leg of lamb.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So it's one pot. You put onions and new potatoes at the bottom of the pot. You put your leg of lamb on it. You get the coals, and I go for briquette charcoal because it lasts a bit longer. And then put it on the fire with some coals on the top of your pan, your Dutch oven, and then we went to the cowshed for some beers and some ping pong.
Yeah.
Set my timer for 2 hours, came back, pippity pong, it was ready.
It's incredible, really. We have said this before. If you cook things in a Dutch oven, you think it's going to be far more complicated and really challenging. And actually, it's the most simple cooking ever because you prep it all, you put it in there, and you ignore it and try your best not to look at it too many times because you need all that heat and a little bit. It's not a pressure cooker, but there's a lot of steam involved, and it's holding all of that stuff inside. So you don't look at it and you don't mess with it. It was great that we could go up to the cowshed, play ping pong. We had a ping pong tournament, and we sat around, we listened to the Newcastle football match, who they lost to Arsenal. You guys were all upset. I couldn't care less, but it's there you go. It's and then we came down and your meat was cooked, sir.
My meat was cooked. So I came down after 2 hours, had a little look at it, went, yeah, that's done. It'll probably be 20 minutes while I just chop up some red onions, red cabbage, some lettuce, tomatoes, cucumber, and I had some Greek-style flatbreads so that we were just doing lamb kebabs again with some potatoes on the side. And you helped me, thankfully, because I didn't have an extra pan because I was cooking on the fire, with some mango and lime rice.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was tasty, wasn't it?
Added a savoury sweetness. That is a lovely car, isn't it? That's a Mercedes AMG something or other, little two-seater little car. That's beautiful, isn't it? Sorry, we are on the motorway still, cruising south, but it was lovely. No, that rice was lovely. A savoury sweetness that just kind of paired with the lamb and all the vegetables and the Greek. No, it wasn't Greek yogurt. It was a garlic mayo that was on it, wasn't it?
Garlic mayo and then some mint sauce, and just to get that, I don't know, just different flavours. But together, it wasn't too heavy a meal. You had a few potatoes. It would have fed 6 of us, but it fed 5 of us really well.
Yeah.
So
you've got to say more about those potatoes, Eddie, because these weren't just like some boiled potatoes in a pan. Describe the potatoes.
So because they sit under the leg of lamb, you've got the juices from the meat, the steam and everything, and they're sat in that. And this time, I think last time we had it extra hot, whereas this time I think the heat was about right. Didn't put too many coals on there and didn't top them up too much. So it was lovely, and they were done to perfection. So they were lovely and soft. And I could have made something out of the gravy that they were sat in, but in the end I just scooped them out. So they were, lamb flavoured and just soft and melt in the mouth. They were absolutely cracking.
They were so beautiful, so beautiful. Like you say, you've done this meal a few times now, but those potatoes were the best from this recipe that you've done. They were gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
So yeah, if you're going, get on with it. What are you telling us about? This is our meals anyway, and it was somebody's 50th, so we all took it in turns to, do something and celebrate. And it was just nice. We had a lovely breakfast this morning, although Barry did struggle with the wind, so it took a little bit longer. And you know what? Somebody else is cooking for you, so I just love it. Bacon and sausage sandwiches, excellent bread. They were very different sausages. Apple and black pudding, I think.
Yeah, they were quality ingredients, really quality ingredients. Really crispy bacon and well done sausages that were full of flavour in a poppy seed bread, which was lovely, and like a smear of tomatoes on them, wasn't there?
Yeah, it really was. So yeah, I think as a synopsis, really great that you just have to look after your one meal instead of buying all. And from a price point of view, I think we all spent probably around the same amount of money.
Yeah.
My leg of lamb was £25, and it's potatoes and some of the garnish, maybe £30. Now, if I'd have fed myself for the weekend and got bacon, sausages, then something and something, I'm sure I'd have spent more than that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you go in as a group and each of you just focuses on one meal, you can focus your money onto really quality ingredients and really looking at showing off your skills with one recipe. And actually, it's really cost effective. And if everybody does that and nobody sort of cuts corners and cheapens it, you actually eat like kings and queens for a whole camping trip. And we've eaten like kings, haven't we?
Yeah, we certainly have. And, everybody pulled their own kind of weight. It was brilliant.
It's also really nice because, even if you go away as a family and there's, say there's a family of 4 of you, I'll say, well, don't tell us what you're going to cook until you get there. It can be a surprise, and it's part of the weekend fun. It's like, oh God, I don't really know what I'm going to be eating. And we kind of had an idea of what people were doing, but, like with Glenn's, we had no idea how incredible that cheese board was going to look with meats and cheeses and breads and crackers and olives and chutneys and all sorts. It's you don't know until you kind of get there, so it's actually quite a nice surprise, really. Whereas if you're planning all your own meals and you're going shopping for the ingredients, you know exactly what you're having before you get there. So it's just a nice way of mixing it up a bit, isn't it?
It really is, and it was just very nice. And if like me, you're worried slightly that is somebody going to cook something that you don't want, then ask those questions. And I did have a little backup that I thought, actually, if I'm hungry at another time, I had a pot noodle, I had one of those potato mash things that you just add hot water to. You'd brought some soup in case somebody had maybe misjudged, and nobody wants hungry people. So there are those extra bits that you can just go if it worries you.
I brought some packet soup that I could have just mixed up, and I brought an extra loaf of bread that was just, if, like you say, if somebody had just misjudged, quantities, because, 4 or 5 big blokes do eat quite a lot of food, then it was just about having something extra there, wasn't it? Not needed, and won't go to waste because it's just dried packet soup. So, it's worthwhile taking those things, but again, plan for the eventuality that you're not going to need them. So don't buy something that might perish.
Yeah, it just was really good. And the only other top tip that I would have is when you're cooking for groups and stuff like that, you're in the field, make sure you've got something that you can wash your hands with or wipe and stuff. So I had some alcohol gel, just so that, you know, you can keep, nobody wants to get food poisoning while you're messing around with chicken or various other things. So just bear that in mind, you know, keep your workstation clean, throw away your stuff, don't have flies hanging around it, don't leave your chicken out in the sun and things like that. So just be mindful of it.
Yeah. Well, good top tip. I was really glad you brought that, actually, because it was good to have a big thing, you know, with a push top thing, squirty bottle of it, because it did mean when I was cooking, I could regularly sort of make sure my hands were decontaminated, and not that it was like, you know, rolling around in the mud or anything, but it's just like you say, when you're using meats and then touching vegetables and everything else, you just want to make sure you're clean. The last thing you want to do is make everybody ill the following morning. I don't think anybody complained of any illnesses after either of our meals, so you know, that was a big success.
Yeah, it really is, because being ill when you're out camping is not a good thing. So always remember, keep your workstations clean. This is like, it's turned into like a chefing kind of thing, Tim, instead of camping.
I'm going to say it, there was nothing casual about the cooking of this camping trip. So it was very much a serious camping podcast episode, I suppose. But you know, proof that you don't have to rough it when it comes to food in the field. You can actually, it doesn't take a lot to actually elevate stuff to a totally different level. And there's nothing, you know, we've said it before, there's nothing wrong with having sausages on the fire and burgers and things like that. We love all of that stuff too. But just once in a while, it's really nice to kind of test yourself and think, well, what can we do in the field? Can we actually do something really nice? And what's great is coming back as we are today from a brilliant camping trip for so many different reasons. The food element of it is, yes, absolutely, we can raise the bar. I suppose the only thing with that is, Ade, is where do we go from here? Surely the only way is down.
We can go down really quickly, Tim. Don't you worry. Hopefully, you know, what we can do next time is, you know, other people will be trying to do, you know, roast beef and Yorkshires, and we can turn up with like packets of hot dogs and go, oh yeah, no, we just thought we'd keep it simple and casual this time.
I accept the challenge of being able to do Yorkshire puddings in the camping field. That's got to be a tricky one. But I've got an idea in my head of using a Dutch oven that's dry and I've got some little Yorkshire pudding tins that are quite small, but they're individuals. Getting the oil in those inside a dry Dutch oven and trying to do it that way, but I don't know whether we'd get the heat right or what, because you've got to have really hot oil for that. But I accept the challenge. I think next time we've got to try and do some Yorkshire puddings.
Okay, yeah, I think that's it. But you know, we will be talking about more camping gear. It won't all just be about cooking, but these are integral parts when you go away. What do you fill your time with? And for us, it's drinking beer and it's also cooking, which go hand in hand. They go hand in hand.
And particularly when you're with groups, what brings groups together better than good food and good drink? You know, it's the starting point for good conversation. So, and full bellies make for happy campers.
Yeah. Now, I will also say that we did have one of our group that decided that he wasn't taking part in the food fest that was going on and the food loved by everybody else. So, top shout out to Richie, but I do think you missed out. He said, no, I'm not cooking for everybody. I don't want that pressure. I'm just coming in, going to do my own stuff. And that was okay too, you know. So if you don't fancy joining in on it, if you don't think that this sounds excellent, yeah, stand your ground. Be a Richie.
Yeah, be a Richie. He could have partaken of eating some of the food, but he didn't even actually have a taste. I think he felt like, because he wasn't going to be cooking, he didn't want to have a taste, but he could have done. He could have done because there was enough. There was more than enough. But yeah, hats off to him. Really, he stuck to his guns and he made a decision, and that's what he did. But I think he missed a treat.
Yeah, well, he did. He had some, I think he had slop on the first night, slop on the second night, slop for breakfast, and gruel for dinner. But, if that's what he chose, then that's what he chose,
It looked like good gruel, but yeah. Although I think at one point he did throw half the gruel away. It went in a bin, but, that's his choice. He makes your choices. You've got to stick with them. But yeah. Should we go away to a minute mindfulness?
Yes.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
That was the sound of the babbling brook that went along the side of the camp. Managed to record that live in the field, which is lovely, and hopefully that will make you feel like you need to go camping and get out in the field this next weekend or in the next few weeks. Get something planned in. What are your plans for the next week or so, Ed?
No camping in the next weekend, but I'm going camping for a week over in Wales, going off to Tide Park with my good lady, and we're going to have a wonderful week in Wales. Pembrokeshire is gorgeous, whatever the weather. Hopefully it's going to be nice, but if it's raining, so be it.
Yeah. No such thing as bad weather, just bad preparation. On the Friday that this goes out, I will be flying up to Scotland, and I'm going to be wild camping, so I'll be taking some camping gear in my case to fly up to Scotland to see my sister, and we'll be wild camping, and that might be next week's episode, if it all goes well, but so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully the weather will be nice, but as you say, it'll be what it'll be, and we're going to camp anyway.
I think that's the thing. There's very few occasions where campsites or wherever allow you to go, no, we're not coming because it's raining, or getting a refund because it's raining. That's not the way the industry goes. So, we've got to be planned for all eventualities. Make sure you brought a tarp so you've got an area to get under, and, you've got appropriate clothing for it. I was going to ask a question. What's the difference between a brook, a beck, a stream? What are they? Is it just colloquialisms for different areas?
I think so. I think it's just, yeah. I mean, we used to have becks and brooks, didn't we, up north? And I think stream is an official term of a small flow of water. And then as that gets larger, that becomes a river. But I think beck and brook are colloquialisms. But there'll be a listener out there that will know the difference. I'm guessing it's probably Chaz Chazington. He's the kind of guy that will know the difference between a beck, a brook, a stream, and a river.
Well, answers on a postcard, or just post in the socials. It's probably easier. It doesn't cost you a stamp.
Yeah. Just post it on the socials, Chaz, and let us know. So do find the socials. God, I'm even more croakier now than I was at the start of this. Do find us on the socials. We're on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, and there'll be stuff on there throughout the week of what we've been talking about. But have a look on there. We've got a private Facebook group which has got a chat in it as well, so it's good to interact with other listeners. And don't forget to subscribe to the show. Don't forget to tell your friends about the show and subscribe to that so that it's always there on day one, waiting for you to listen to. And yeah, I suppose we should really say again about the Barter Barn.
The Barter Barn. After the Barter Barns happened, we're going to be lost about what we're doing. So we are attending this year's Bushcraft show, which is in Lutterworth in Leicestershire, in England. You too can come and enjoy yourself over some few beers. If you're camping for the weekend, you can get day tickets, weekend tickets, and you can come and barter some stuff. If, like us, you've got some spare kit that you're not using and you maybe want to swap it out for something else, come and see us. We will have a stall for a few hours each day, and you can see if there's something that you like, something that you want to swap for yours, and see if you can bag a deal with us.
Yeah, we're taking cash out of the equation, and you just got to bring something that's got some inherent value to it, and swap it for something that you find on the stall. Should be a laugh. Should be a joke. It's a no stress kind of thing, no aggro kind of thing. There's no hard sell because we're not selling anything, and it should just be for fun. But come to the Bushcraft show. You can use our dedicated code of CCP15 for 15% off day and weekend tickets. It'd be great to see some of our listeners there. I know already that there's quite a few of you that are coming, which we're really quite excited about. So definitely, if you are a listener and you come to the show, come and find the Barter Barn. Even if you've got nothing, just come and find us and say hello. But if you are a listener and you come in, what are you doing bringing nothing? Have we not told you about this enough?
Yeah, we have got lots of things to exchange. Some good, some sort of something that you might need if you're camping. Oh, I forgot pegs. Oh, we've got that. Oh, I've forgotten a chair. Yeah, there might be a chair there. And who knows what else. But yeah, this, I think, if you've never been before, like us, you'll love it. There's skills on offer. There's talks from people, and I loved it last time. It's something that's on our calendar, and it really makes the summer go ping.
Yeah, it really does. And I was practicing this weekend. I brought my bow drill with me. I bought my flint and steel. I lit a fire with flint and steel. I was super pleased with myself. I played around with the bow drill for about an hour, and in the end, it nearly went on the fire itself later in the day because it was damned annoying. But I will persevere and see what I can do. There are skilled people at the Bushcraft show who can teach you how to do that stuff. So I'm hoping to learn bow drill skills when I'm there. But come along, learn some stuff, have a laugh, and it'll be great.
It really will. And I was going to say, yeah, you couldn't try it on the fire, Tim. You didn't start it with the bow drill.
Yeah. I'd have needed a fire to throw it on the fire. Aye. But sorry, you're just showing me something. I couldn't read it. What did it say?
I can't say it, Tim.
Okay. Something written on the back of the car that shot past us, but...
It's not that kind of show, Tim.
Oh, okay. It's cool. But yeah, I hope this episode has helped you think about elevating your cooking to something else. And when you are camping in a group, thinking about sharing out the meals so that actually each person can focus on a gourmet element for their own meal, rather than you having to think, oh, I've got to make every meal gourmet for everybody and I'm doing all the cooking. Takes the stress away, actually. It's, so really, have a think about what you're cooking and whether or not you can raise the bar yourself for you and your mates. But hopefully it's giving you some ideas. And if Ade and I can do that, and everyone knows we're pretty much idiots, then anybody can do it, can't they, Ade?
What was the question?
Okay, and on that bombshell, good night.
Bye.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.